Quick question. Does Moldavite affect some people more than others? Great question. Wearing a piece of beautiful Moldavite today. Fantastic question. That was one of the questions asked as well on my book, The Power of Moldavite. So let's answer it, shall we? Welcome everybody to the Pure Energy Healing Academy. Welcome to Mark Bajerski YouTube channel. Today we're going to do a deep dive on the effect of Moldavite and why this guy says, oh, it doesn't bloody work, and this guy says, I can't believe what's just happened. So in my experience over these 2 decades, what I've noticed, especially with myself, is that the higher I work on myself, the higher the experience, or the greater the experience of Moldavite. I'll give you a great example, and if you've never seen this channel before, if you've never heard me speak before, I'm going to share another story that I've shared a few times, and that was I first started doing psychic work and healing work, and a day came when I was asked to do the Mind, Body and Spirit Festival at the H10 Hotel, and I was going with my first mentor. So we got there and I set the stand up for doing psychic reads and healing sessions. Or was it healing? I knew it was more psychic sessions. Yeah, it was psychic sessions. I even remember where I was at the time in the room. So it was a 2-day event, started at 10 o'clock or 11 and finishes at 8 o'clock at night. So the first day I did about between 17 and 20 clients, psychic reads, boom, 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 boom. Very, very happy with the reads. And then the following day came back. Again, I did all my reads, and then at the end, my mentor said, I bought you a present, because it was round about the 17th, 18th or 19th, something like that. And my birthday was on the 20th of October, so it was just days away or the day away. And she took me round to a stand full of crystals, and she placed a crystal in my hand. And as soon as I put it in my hand and held it, bear in mind I wasn't really into crystals, I held it and I could feel my body lift. I actually felt like I was elevating off the ground, and I was absolutely blown away by what I just experienced. And I'm like, did anybody else see that? Well, of course nobody saw it, because what's elevating is your consciousness, your spirit. And that was that was it. I was hooked. Whatever this is, I want to know more. And she gave it me as a gift. It was only a small piece, but it didn't matter. Only it was a piece of Moldavite. Whether it's a small or big piece, it's still equally as powerful because of the energy that's retained in it. So that was profound for me. And I look back on it and think, well, I'd done 2 days of psychic work, and when you're tuning into your intuition, when you're trying to, create a frequency around you of the past, present and future, when you're trying to see beyond what we see when we eat, drink and sleep and work, we raise our frequency. We change it. We change it to a different sense. So today I say, yeah, I mean, people are affected differently by Moldavite, and the reason why is because certain people are not in that energy field. So a lot of healers and psychics who work daily will pick up a Moldavite and feel incredible energies. I can give it to a mother who's working on herself because she's been meditating, eating healthy, really doing the work, as spiritual work, as looking deeper into her soul and consciousness and connecting. And she's had a profound experience, and the next lady and the next lady, and then somebody who's just started the path of heightening their vibration frequency, where they're starting to awaken certain senses in them that they never did before. No, don't really get much. And then when they start working with the Moldavite and they start meditating more, or self-healing, or working on tarot cards, crystals, when they work on it, they're now starting to become finely attuned to certain frequencies. And frequencies, the finely attuned means that you're awakening something, a sense within you that hasn't been awakened before. Now, that could be one reason that certain people feel things about Moldavite more than others. And then I realized over the years that when I was working with clients, some of the clients were in terrible trauma at that very moment. When you're in deep trauma, it's very hard to feel anything. You're numb to your psychic ability. And then you can take a client who's just lost their mum and dad, or their mum or their sister or brother, to the spirit world, and they've moved into the light, and they're just overwhelmed with a frequency which vibrates at what we call grief. It's very hard to attune to your psychic senses when you're in grief. Then there were clients who were coming who were permanently angry with life because they were married to somebody that they didn't want to be married to, or they had a job that they hated. Again, they couldn't vibrate to the frequency of Moldavite, feel it, and get anything from it. I found a lot of the times, and I'm not saying all the time, but a lot of the times, when you are in a good state, when you're in good balance, mind, body and soul, you're more likely to feel things. It's just like you're more likely to see what's going on in this world when you're not as traumatized with the world and with finances and with issues and problems in your life. When you are at a higher level of that negative energy and them awful situations where you have no time to think about yourself, you got no, because you're just thinking of exterior and the possibilities of everything going wrong, and so it's very difficult to attune to Moldavite in that sense. So I think there's a kind of a downplay with Moldavite with a lot of people because they don't believe it works. But I've had clients who have come to me and started their psychic experience, and they come for healing, they come for psychic work, and they come for circle nights, they have meditation with me, we have breathing exercises, and then all of a sudden in a circle night one day they'll just say, "Oh my God, Mark, I was absolutely blown away by my Moldavite." And I'm like, "How long have you had it for?" "Oh, maybe 7 months now." "So what do you think changed? Do you think the Moldavite started working, or do you think you started working to then go to that same very level as Moldavite, and now you can experience things?" So that was often something I asked for him to go away and think about. So, but then again, we look at situations, especially as I look at a guy called Alan who came to me, who was like just nil and void of any kind of understanding of spirituality. And yet, after maybe 2 or 3 weeks, he never took it off, and he said, "I don't know what it is, but something happened and I feel different. I'm like, okay, well, that's great." So I guess when I speak about, patterns, it's not always exact. So I think we're all very different. I think we can be triggered by Moldavite in different ways. And that, I guess, is my take on Moldavite. Why is it stronger for one person and not for another? I think it's because we're all individual. We all have deep trauma. We all have just past issues that sometimes hold us in a place of low frequency and vibration, meaning that we have no belief. We don't believe in magic. We don't believe in miracles. We don't believe in crystals. We don't believe in oils. We don't believe in incense until you do. And then everything changes because something's happened, something, whatever that may be, with Moldavite, something triggers and wow, I felt it. So before, Moldavite didn't work, but now it does. And when I asked them that question, they kind of a bit confused, like, yeah, well, who's to say it wasn't working on you as soon as you got it, and now it's penetrated through those walls of non-belief and suffering to now I feel something. So I have a lot of friends who wore Moldavite and never got anything for years out of it, and then one day, I asked them, "Why'd you keep wearing it for?" "Don't know, just keep wearing it." And it's like, well, why would anybody just wear something? I mean, it's not the most, it is a beautiful crystal. When you put it in the light, it's gorgeous, but it's not the most prettiest crystal. You could wear any other crystal. So there is something within you that wears it consciously. Your conscious knows it's good, so you follow that. So there's lots of interesting observations with Moldavite and why somebody feels more than others. But that's kind of like my take on it. And what do you think? Tell me what you think about Moldavite. And have you had any experiences where you said, I got nothing from it, and then one day, boom? Because it's like, as a healer, we know that sometimes we have to work hard to penetrate through the blocks, the traumas, the issues that are within you to be able to finally get through and disperse all of that, so then you can feel you're back to yourself. But today is a beautiful day. Let me just grab these. Okay, so I wanted to show you a beautiful piece of Moldavite, which is very unusual in shape. So if I hold it like that, it's kind of it's shaped beautiful. It's really interesting shape, and let's have a look at that through here. Wow, look at that. As I turn it, it's very unusual, really beautiful, gorgeous piece. This is a typical Moldavite in such a unique form. You'll never see anything like that again because each piece is unique. So, but that is pretty special, and the weight of that is a whopping 10 grams. 9.9, but just short of 10 grams. That's a big beauty. That's gorgeous. As you can see, it's been bound really lovely in Indonesia, Bali, and yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's really nicely bound. They've done a great job. That's a good job. It's not easy to bind Moldavites, so that's a pretty good job. It's on a T-bar. It's 925 silver, and then dipped 3 times in 18 karat gold, so it's rolled gold. Beautiful. Here's a lovely piece, really nice. Let's just take a look at that. Nice T-bar. Let's have a look at. It's quite thick piece, that. Look, gorgeous. That beautiful. And that is, let's have a see what that is. A nice big chunk again. That's 8 grams. Beautiful piece of 8 grams. And one more, which again is a very interesting piece. It's a nice slice. It's got a nice cabin in there. It's beautiful. It's very, very unusual. Beautiful piece. Isn't that gorgeous? Wow, that's beautiful. Nice T-bar again. And what does that weigh? That's 7.7 grams. Really nice. All 3 of them pieces are really special. Really enjoying this collection that I sent to Bali to be mounted and then brought back. So there's 3 gorgeous pieces of Moldavite. I hope it answers some of your questions. If you have got a piece of Moldavite and you're thinking, oh, it's not really working at the moment, my message is always keep wearing it. Just keep wearing it, and eventually, as you do the work, you'll find that it kicks in, or you kick into its frequency. So there you go. Interesting. Have a lovely day. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.